under your butt.
I move for no man.
You'll be dead.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang, bang.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
Just a flesh wound.
You guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the recap of Session 20 of Campaign 4. Last we left off, we were in the middle of combat. There's two of these wraith-like people that cast a spell of Hunger of Hadar on us, and we just barely got out of it. And we decided we can't have none of that. So we corner the one spellcaster, and we just gang up on him, and then with a holy moonbeam, just disintegrate him fully. His friend just books it into the woods, and we don't see him again. And he leaves us alone with a cart with some skeletons in the back, and the horses that were the two nightmares that are drawing the carriage. Desperado uses his divine sense and figures out that the two nightmares are fiends. Who would have guessed the flaming horses are evil? But they were passive; they weren't really doing anything. But Durian makes a choice that maybe they shouldn't live anymore, and goes to go swing the hammer into the back of one of their heads, and combat starts. I'll save you some time. It was pretty brief. Durian does get kicked pretty hard in the chest by one of them, but they do gang up on one horse, who then tries to leave and flee from a dissonant whispers from Peter. But we do knock it out of the air with 3 reaction attacks, which is pretty cool. And then the other one we heard a little bit, and then just kind of evaporates and just disappears. And so now we just have a cart full of skeletons. We suit up Kevin in the plate armor of Atheronis, which none of us can really wear. And we take the cart that had all the skeletons in it, and we start pulling it and going towards the place that we last remember where there was people at. Maybe thinking that we could ask them and figure out what's going on. We had some deals that are outstanding and figuring out what's going on with that. Kevin does not want to go back to the court of the dark, which is Lady Jude's court, because she was hunting him. But Peter disguises him pretty good, so he reluctantly agrees to go do so. And we move on. We go with the intent of finding that party that was that we left there and seeing how long it was. But it's just an open field with some dire dogs that are fighting each other, and a big throne that Lady Jude sits upon. Our first time seeing her, and half of her face is bark, and she just sits there and watches us approach. We're confused about where everyone's at. We ask her some questions, and she tells us we've been gone for 3 months, which isn't as bad as a couple thousand years, mind you, in Edward's case. So, not great, not terrible, we'll take it. And we learned in those 3 months that the Feywild and the material plane have gotten closer, and there's a few small points where you can pass through without needing a traditional portal that someone can cast. She is not happy with us. Desperado asks for his hand back because he got tricked out of his hand, and her chef, the gnome chef, is currently in possession of it, and she says that she's going to need a replacement. So she gives him her permission to go get his hand in return for his that she has around her neck. And he decides to go with it. Sure, he doesn't like the guy. Goes into the tent, and there's a gnome with his brother, and he gives him 2 choices, the easy way or the hard way. You give me your hand, you live, you die, and I get your hand anyway. And they choose the hard way. One quick smite later, and Desperado's leaving with an whole arm. He comes back and fills his bargain and gets his hand back, but he did not bargain for its reattachment. A little bit more trickery. The queen's upset with us, not because of the deal we made, but because we interrupted her business deals with the master, and wants us to make it up to her. And she gives us 5 options. We fill the carts. We fill the cart that we have of corpses and give them to the master, which was the original deal. We sell out the halfling village with just a hint of a direction, which is where Peter's people is at. We give up Edward. We give up Kevin, who was disguised. She did not know it was Kevin. Or we picked the last option, which wasn't really clear, but we presumed it was death, or at least a fight that led to death. And we flounder a little bit. We're, trying to think a way out of it. And Desperado does not want to give anyone dead bodies because they'll be reanimated into some zombies that are used by the Master as soldiers. But seeing how things are going, Durian agrees to do the cart plan. We're not leaving yet because Desperado still needs his hand reattached, and so Peter uses his loaded die, which we were all given one common magic item to have, and his was a loaded die, which he can determine the result of any number on that die. And the wager was, we win, Desperado gets his hand back. We lose, Desperado doesn't get his hand back, and she gets the die. Some more back and forth goes, and it somehow ends up in him giving up the die anyway. But because, the die is magic, it was rigged in our favor, and he gets his hand reattached. It's also magic now. It can detach and be used as a sort of mage hand, which is a little bit freaky and weird. And he takes to it like a duck to water, and he does not question it at all, which is strange, but hey, that's his thing, all right? We've been in the field for a bit. We can explain that away. We leave, bring the cart with us to where we fought those two weird wraith things, and to get some more corpses. We smell like the scent of death, and Edward, being a werewolf, tries to smell where that's coming from, and he finds a corpse eater plant, which is just a plant that has a bunch of zombies in it. And we get into a combat with it, and we just gang up on the plant, and it shoots out zombies that, Durian was dealing with, and so was Desperado sometimes, and sometimes Kevin. Edward had a great showing with his first turn, did a lot of damage, but he was paralyzed, knocked out, and then also brought back and was missing some attacks. It was pretty bad. Peter was doing some constant damage with his flaming sphere. Desperado was pelting with arrow and killing zombies with holy damage, which is, a good way to kill zombies, otherwise they keep standing back up. Speaking of which, there was one zombie in particular that was took down like 4 or 5 times that kept living. After we killed the corpse eater plant, we loaded everything up, and that one zombie that was special and unique got a ride in the chair of the wagon. That's pretty much it. I'll see you next time for session 21 of campaign 4. Bye.